But first, imagine the surprise of people living on one street in Bexley Heath when this morning the road simply opened up. A huge sinkhole measuring around 25 foot appeared seemingly out of nowhere. Luckily, no one was hurt, although a motorcycle was apparently swallowed up. Well, Natalia Horquera is in Bexley Heath for us this evening. Natalia, what happened?
Emergency services sealed off Martins Avenue here in Bexley Heath at around 9 p.m. last night when a huge sinkhole opened up here just behind me. So there were no reported injuries, but neighbours have said that they saw a motorcyclist cycle his motorbike into the sinkhole. Now, the team on the ground here tonight have told me that they actually think that the motorbike is still there in the sinkhole. Whilst there is no obvious damage to any of the homes nearby, you can see that the sinkhole is huge. It measures the entire width of the road, which is just over 20 foot, and it's probably around 16 feet deep. Now, at the moment, there is no known cause for what has caused this sinkhole, but the most common reason for sinkholes is when water damage, either water leakage, gets in through the cracks, gets in underneath, and then corrodes whatever material is in underneath, resulting in the tarmac then caving in. There is an investigation going on with Thames Water at the moment, but from what I've been told, and I've been reassured, that yes, whilst there is a huge sinkhole here, sinkholes in the UK are very, very rare. Lucrezia.
Thankfully, pretty big repair job though. Natalia, thank you.
Next, imagine if you lived on a street where suddenly a large sinkhole emerged, swallowing up part of the road. That's what residents in South East London are faced with this evening. Well, Assad is there for us, finding out what happened. Tell us, Assad.
Riz, I'm just inside a police cordon which has blocked off this road here to get a closer look at the sinkhole which is behind me. It's the width of this road, it's about 8 metres long and it's about 5 metres deep. Would you believe there's a motorbike which fell into that sinkhole as well, but thankfully nobody has been injured. But the reason why we're standing here and no closer is because the Thames Water engineer said to us that the area around the sinkhole, even behind this metal fence, is potentially weak, and so this is as close as we are allowed to get. Now, this all happened yesterday evening about 9 o'clock when residents said they heard a huge crashing sound. They looked through their windows, they came out on the road as well to have a look, and they were shocked to see that some of their road had disappeared. Other residents, let me tell you, were angry because they said this is the second time a sinkhole of this size has happened in this area in the past 15 years. They said somebody's garden disappeared just on the road behind us back in 2008. And since then, we also know of other sinkholes which have cropped up around the area. Let me just say and take a look at these pictures. It might jog some memories. Over in St Albans, a huge sinkhole there, which took months to fix in a residential area. Then just a few miles away, about 3-4 miles away from where I'm standing now in Charlton in South East London, there was a sinkhole which almost swallowed a car up. Thankfully, nobody was injured there. And then over in Hemel Hempstead, there was a huge sinkhole over there as well. So the question obviously has to be, why do these sinkholes appear without any notice at all? We asked an expert.
Sinkholes are one of those wonderfully terrifying things, aren't they? They kind of crop out of nowhere, and you're like, what caused this? But almost all of it is to do with water. So the first one is where you have a leaking pipe or a sewer, and it can wash away loose material like sand, and that can form a cavity under the road and things can fall into it. The second one is where you have soluble rocks like chalk or limestone underneath the ground, and over time the water can dissolve that rock and form a cavity which material can fall into. And the third one can arise from man-made mines and so on, and again material falls into those mines as the cappings collapse over time.
So several reasons why sinkholes can crop up and appear anywhere at any time. So Thames Water engineers are working here. They worked here throughout the night and all day as well. But I have to say, one neighbour came up to me, had a look and said, why haven't they filled this up? And I had to say to her, from my experience of other sinkholes we've covered over the years, that this might be the case for some time. Yeah, it does take quite a while to not only investigate what caused the sinkhole, but then, if you can imagine, to try and get this road safe again, there's a lot of work that goes into it. Back to you, Riz.
You've got a feel for them. Assad, thank you.